Good morning. There's a supply list up now, and I was trying to get you guys a video yesterday, but I'm not sure what I did with it to make it not work well. So this is take two. Um, so there's a little bit of a process here that I'm going to ask you guys to review and just see how it feels for you. What I want to do is go over some of the things, not only that I'm going to send you so that you're really clear about what that is, but also bring forward some things, supply-like things that if you were in my office, I'd be supplying you for this process. And not that I'll send all this to everybody, but it'll give you an idea of what you might need to pull together for yourself or what you're interested in, which I think will get the ball rolling so that when we meet our first time next week, I think it is the 13th, we'll be able to, you guys will be in the know. We'll be able to get going. So the other piece of this is I'm using something called an Epic Cam, which will give an overview. So right now you guys see my face, but I'm going to switch to this other camera and it'll give you an overview of what I'm trying to show you so that you can see it happening in real time. In this case, I'm going to show you the very first Wild Woman I ever did and kind of go through some of the things to think about when we are rolling on this project. Okay, so I'm going to switch right now. Give me just a minute. This is slightly clunky and I haven't quite figured it out yet, but here we go. Okay, so here's the overview, and I want to start off first with just showing you, see, I was seeing it upside down, so I'm going to try to make it so that it's right side up for you guys. There we go. This was the very first one that I ever made. Ooh, already got some clunkiness going on. Okay, not sure what to do with the cord here. Let's just take it out. And you can see there's a few bits to her. So this is the mask face that I'm going to be sending you guys. Around here are different kinds of semi-precious stones. I will not be sending these. These are things that you guys can do if you like that look. Now this isn't necessary. This is just sort of how I like to do it. I will be sending you a flower. It won't necessarily be exactly like this, but it's a silk flower that I've just torn apart, and you might be able to see there's also little silk flowers that I've put in here to add to the mix. I will be sending you this stuff here. There'll be a combination, so it's this kind of nest looking material along with something that looks a little more like moss. So that will be part of what I send to you. Now this one's done a little differently. I changed it as I went along over the years. I'm gonna try to get this light a little better. There we go, now you can see it better. So on this piece, I wrapped a remnant. I don't know if you can see that it's just sort of like a strip. And then I created a belt kind of thing. And then the rest of the material was down here. What I've changed it to more is I have these scarves that I kind of put over the arms and sort of cinch it up in a little bit of a different way. So I'm going to be sending you a scarf and not remnants like this, although as I said in the supply list, you get to choose and add to it in the way that you want and maybe jump off of it, whatever I send you as an inspiration. Moving down a little bit here, if we can see it. I'm also going to be sending you this crinoline stuff. I've found for myself anyway that I like to have a little bit of volume down in the bottom half. So I started putting these in the very first time because I just thought it looked, the top was all lovely and kind of big, and then the bottom was rather skinny, and I didn't like how that looked. But again, you guys can decide how you want to do this. Now these, as you might be able to see, are just cut strips. There's nothing, I haven't sewn on them. There's even irregularities in the fabric and the shape. And that's the kind of thing that can be really interesting. Like you can see back here, there's a different kind of cut on this material. I like that kind of stuff. I like to build texture that way. And so please think of that as you're choosing your materials. um, I guess this is another example. This is a piece of leather that I had for, I don't know, 20 years or something. And so I took these little bits of leather I've had for a while and put them on there as well. I do want to show you two, um, well, I'm sorry, let me add to these. So these are a couple special things that I wanted to put on this one. So just to give you an idea. So this is a feather that a friend of mine gave me that needed a new home because it got mushed. So now it's safe up here. This is an old necklace, for instance. And sometimes I buy big pieces of jewelry or buttons or things like that that either get sewn into the cloth or used as a big, say, breastplate or something. So think about those things and how you might want it to look as you're gathering your materials. The parts that you are going to have to supply are this. I'm not going to be sending you sticks. So you're going to supply the sticks. And you can see that these sticks have sort of been bundled together to create the arms, right? And there's another bundle of sticks down here that have been created to put together to create the body. Now you get to decide if you want bundles or if you want one. It really doesn't matter. You can create different shapes, like make the arms look like they're curved or hugging. It can be pretty fun to do this part too. So really consider what sticks you want. I forgot to tell you about this. So part of the process that we're going to be doing, once we get the sticks put together in the T, that sort of is the basis. I'm going to try to hold it over. The basis of the person that we're going to create. We need to add a little fluff to it. And you can see there's, I don't know if you can tell I'm squishing in there a little bit, but it's a little bit stuffed in here. And so once we get it tied and wrapped and glued and secure, I like to have people put, it could be anything. It could be t-shirt material. It could be cotton balls, something that just gives it a little bit of volume up top and gives the whole thing a look more like a stick. I'm sorry, less like a stick and more like something squishy. And then I like to cover it with this light material. You could really do it any color you want. I just like it to be a nice palette to show off whatever other colors I have going on. And I will be sending you this. So the things you're going to get from me are the face, the chunky, funky netting, nesting kind of material, this white material to wrap around the whole body, and we'll go through this. A scarf instead of, a piece of fabric, and some of the, let me show you the crinoline stuff on the inside. That's what I'm going to be showing you or sending you. I may also throw a few things in there like ribbon or whatever. I'm not quite sure about that yet. So there's my original finished piece. And she hangs in my doorway. I wanted to show you this too. I don't know if this will show up very well. This is a piece of fishing line. And so what I do at the end of this, in order to display them, is we'll tie some fishing line and create a little loop so that you can hang them on the wall. And so mine stays up on the wall in my entryway. There's other people who create the bottom in a way, instead of having sort of a bundle of sticks, they have one stick coming out and then they place it in something and have it stand. That's an option too, but I've never gotten good at that. So I'm going to put her over here, and then I'm going to show you some of the things a little more in depth and give you a couple of ideas. So if you were coming to my office, I would have a bunch of supplies out and about for you, and you could pick through and figure out what you want. To start off with, these are what the masks look like. That one's really, see if I can get it up here and show it to you a little bit better. It's so bright. So they look like this. They have little holes in them, and they're created by this lovely artist in Texas. Lynn Belisle, I think is how you say her last name. So I will send you one of those. And I will send you like a torn up, sounds terrible, but I will take a flower like this and basically just tear it up. You can pull the back off and see that gives you this little bit. And so I will send you, maybe a few of these kinds of pieces of things. And now this, the way that I put them together, is how you frame the face. I think I've got too much light going on over here. Let me block it a little bit so you can see it. So you frame the face with that. There's other things you could frame the face with too, like if you have, you know, buttons or things like that. I have, where is it? I also have these bits that I've taken off of crocheted pieces that maybe were not doing so great, and I might stick them together, you know, something like that. Ooh, let me block the light again so you can see it. So I'm asking you to just think about the kinds of things like this that you want to bring into on top of what I'm going to be sending you guys. There are these really interesting things, and you would get these at the flower section of like Michael's. I like to add things like this too that are a bit, they've got wires in them. And so, you know, finished product kind of, they sort of go behind the face and kind of fan out. I like them to have a little bit of crazy hair kind of thing. So there's that sort of stuff that you can add. I have a simpler one. It just has little, I think they're plastic, but they might be glass. Ribbon's a great thing to use with these. I like to throw it on there to cinch up their waists and make the dress look good. Feathers are great. If you have things like this, you know, kind of to tie on to the outside, those can be pretty cool. Anything like old buttons. This is an old charm bracelet that might end up being the belt for one of my wild women. I don't know. But things like this, think in this direction, right? What do you have? You could even maybe go into your junk drawer and pull some things out that would be interesting and creative to add to your person. And I want to show you a little bit more of the nest kind of material, just so you get a handle on what it looks like. So I have no idea what that is. So I might send you some of this, little chunk of this to go in with your person. But here's some of the nest material. It can come in different colors. If you have a preference, add to it. I get these at Michael's. It's the Ashland brand. They're inexpensive, and they look really cool behind the head. I also wanted to show you guys real quick some of the big buttons and sorts of things that I use. So this is what I was talking about earlier. I might put this on as a chest plate kind of thing for the wild women. These sorts of things look really cool. It's a bead that I got at Michael's, but it's like a prayer jar kind of thing, right? So what can you embellish this with that would be really cool? I strung together some just little buttons and beads and things like that that I might use to drape around or make it interesting. These are some cloisonne necklaces, one of which I already showed you on the doll. So look for stuff like this. This will make your person more interesting, your wild woman more interesting. So on top of that, and I'll show you this more. I'm going to switch back over here real quick. Oops, if I could do it. There we go. There we are. On top of all of that, you might have with you some t-shirt material or old bed sheet, you know, those sorts of things. And we're going to put those on the inside after we've gone through a couple of the meditation processes. Those are the things that I'm going to have you write affirmations or phrases or words or things that you want for empowerment. We're going to write on those and sort of put them in, weave them in as part of the inner part of the doll. You can also do it on the outside. So I'm saying things that are the way that I envision it, but rest assured, there's a whole lot of room for you to do what feels best for you. And do not hesitate to shift into something that is your way of doing it. That's what the whole intention of this is. So I think I've kept you guys long enough. I'm trying to keep these kind of short. Please let me know what you think about the information, what was presented. It was a little bit clunky. I'd probably be a little looking to streamline it a little more. So any thoughts you guys have on that would be great. Looking forward to seeing you all very soon. Please look at the supply list and let me know if you have any questions. All right. Bye, guys.